Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Newsbrowse News broadcast. According to CTV News, Michael Scorres, a 47-year-old former officer with the British Columbia Royal Canadian Mounted Police, RCMP, has been arrested and charged in a national security investigation. Scorres was taken into custody on Bowen Island following a search of his residence by the Pacific Region Integrated National Security Enforcement Team. He faces 13 charges, including 6 counts of unauthorized communication of special operational information and 7 counts of breach of trust. The RCMP alleges that Scorres possessed work-related materials at his home and shared protected or classified information with individuals he was in relationships with between 2020 and 2023. During this period, Scorres was an active member of INSET before retiring from the force in 2025. Authorities emphasized that none of the charges involve current national security investigations, and no ongoing cases were compromised as a result of his actions. RCMP Inspector Brian Pyatt expressed that while it is deeply troubling when law enforcement members face criminal allegations, the investigation demonstrates a strong commitment to holding individuals accountable regardless of their background. According to Global News, First Nations treaty chiefs representing Indigenous communities across Western Canada have warned that they are prepared to engage in acts of civil disobedience if Alberta Premier Danielle Smith proceeds with the scheduled referendum on separation. The vote, set for October 19th, will ask Albertans if they wish to remain in Canada or initiate a process toward independence. Treaty 8 Grand Chief Trevor McCready, along with other prominent chiefs, has demanded that the United Conservative Party government halt the referendum. They argue the government has failed in its constitutional duty to consult with First Nations, whose treaty rights predated the establishment of Alberta as a province in 1905. Chief McCready stated that First Nations have not consented to the referendum and will attempt to block it, potentially by disrupting industrial activity or protesting on major highways. While the Premier's office maintains that the vote does not trigger a duty to consult, the opposition NDP and Manitoba Premier Wab Kane have voiced strong support for the chief's position, urging the Alberta government to halt or pause the referendum. According to a report by the Canadian press, Algerian-born Mohamed Harkat has won a significant round in his long-running legal battle to remain in Canada. Federal Court Justice John Norris ruled that a 2018 government decision to deport Harkat is unreasonable. Justice Norris found that a key finding in the deportation case, namely, that Harkat was complicit in acts of terrorism committed by Chechen extremists, was not adequately supported by the evidence or by the decision-maker's reasoning. Consequently, the judge has ordered that the matter be sent back for redetermination by a new decision-maker. Harkat was originally arrested in Ottawa in December 2002 under suspicion of being an al-Qaeda sleeper agent, allegations which he has consistently denied. The federal government has been attempting to deport the former gas station attendant using a security certificate, a controversial legal tool designed to remove non-citizens suspected of ties to extremism or espionage. According to a report by the Canadian press, the Ontario Court of Appeal has dismissed a bid by federal prosecutors to overturn the bail of Paradkar, a Toronto area defense lawyer. Paradkar is accused of advising on the murder of a federal witness and assisting an alleged international drug smuggling ring. The organization is allegedly headed by former Canadian Olympic snowboarder Ryan Wedding, who was recently arrested in U.S. custody. The Crown had argued that the initial bail decision which released Paradkar on strict conditions including house arrest, GPS monitoring, and a $5 million pledge, lacked grounding in evidence and threatened public confidence. However, the appeal court ruled on Thursday that the lower court judge made no errors in finding that Paradkar's medical conditions and incentive to stay in Canada mitigated any flight risk. While both sides submitted new evidence during the review in April, the High Court determined that Paradkar should remain out on bail pending his extradition hearing. According to a report by Global News, a Toronto police officer is facing multiple criminal charges following an investigation by Ontario's police watchdog, the Special Investigations Unit, SIU, Constable Parsa Hazeri. A 3-year veteran of the Toronto Police Service's 33 Division was arrested and charged on Thursday morning. The charges stem from allegations involving a female youth in Toronto between September and December 2025. The 7 charges against Hazeri include sexual assault, sexual interference, invitation to sexual touching, transmitting sexually explicit material to a person under 16, communicating with a minor to facilitate an offense, breach of trust, and careless handling of a firearm. Upon learning of the complaint in January 2026, the Toronto Police Service immediately notified the SIU and suspended Hazeri. Following the formal charges on Thursday, police chief proceedings have begun to seek his dismissal, and he has been suspended without pay. Hazeri was released on several bail conditions, including a ban on communicating with the complainant. He is scheduled to appear in court on July 17, 2026. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.